Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today to break down WOLFSBANE, being the first edition here for the new Mutants, new Cosmic Crucible team joining Marvel Strike Force. So, obviously, guys, remember, with these new character releases, there's going to be a limited time here to take advantage of WOLFSBANE Red Star promotion. So, be on the lookout for that today at Reset, because her Red Stars will be coming in addition to obviously offers you're interested in buying her directly or in the way of using Power Cores. Now, let's take a look. Let's start reviewing what her kit's going to be entirely based off. Remember, she is the main brawler for this team, so you know it's expected that she's going to be bringing some damage to the team, as well as what they're going to be positioning themselves in, especially being the next top tier Cosmic Crucible team in Marvel Strike Force. So, basic ability, Uncaged, attacking primary target for 60% piercing, and on top of that, if the primary target does have bleed, she's going to be attacking with critical hit chance as well. As we level this ability up, you can see here, she actually is able to flip regen, and on top of that, her basic actually prolongs the duration of all negative effects outside of ability block, stun, and trauma, up to a maximum of 3 times. So obviously, if you're able to use, let's say in theory, an ISO-8 striker, you're going to get more chances of prolonging those negative effects to really allow the New Mutants team to thrive together and extend those conditions as well. So, as with all this ability up, obviously damage goes up. If you're interested in the T4 upgrade here, you can see that 50% chance to flip actually turns into 100%, and with an additional uptick there in the 50% piercing. So, I would hold off on updating or fully upgrading all the way to the T4, because usually the special ultimate and the passive abilities are more valuable and better bang for your buck, especially if you're tight for T4 resources. Let's take a look at those before we make that final assessment here on what we should upgrade. Beast Within, special ability. She's going to be applying 2 counters to herself and all New Mutant allies. In addition to that, she's attacking all enemies for 100% piercing once again, and as well inflicting bleed on the enemies associated. So you can see, as we level this ability up, heal blocks can be applied, ensuring that they're not able to actually heal themselves with regen. You can see if there's any target that actually has stealth, she's also going to be applying an additional 2 bleeds and clearing stealth. So no characters are going to be safe, especially in that stealth position. So I'm thinking about characters like, Fantastic Four MCU, like Sue Storm, it's characters like Super Skrull, where they need that little stealth of additional protection. Level 6, you can see here she's going to be bonus attacking the enemy support with the highest damage for 125% piercing, and once again, similar to the basic, prolonging the duration of negative effects, once again excluding the ability block, stun, and trauma, up to a maximum of 3 times there. And then finally, this is where you might have to make that assessment depending on if you're building this team up for Cosmic Crucible, because with this T4 upgrade here for her special, if this character has 3 mutant allies, she's going to be reducing the duration of all positive effects except stealth by 2 on all enemies. So this does actually include Safeguard, which is very, very notable, because given how powerful Safeguard is to prevent those buffs from being stripped away, this is a very devastating special ability if used in the correct situation, especially when some teams spawn with that Safeguard mechanic to protect them from abilities just like this. So definitely a very strong upgrade there, guys. Ultimate ability, Rise of the Lycan. You can see here, attacking the primary target for 200% piercing, applying disruption for 2 turns, ensuring that they're not going to be able to get some buffs being placed with the disrupt. And as well, enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived, so that's very valuable, especially given some of those rooms where maybe you have some revived characters coming back and with a second chance to strike back. This ability is also unavoidable and cannot be blocked. So very similar to the past 2, we're just going to be seeing an uptick here in piercing damage, which kind of scales well with what we know in the lore with WOLFSBANE. But as well, she also reduces the speed bar by 30% on the primary target. And again, similar to the special, there's going to be a bonus attack on the most injured enemy for 225 piercing. And on kill, she is actually going to be generating for herself 3 special ability. And then finally, with the T4 upgrade there, she's going to be gaining offense up for 2 turns in addition to speed up. I mean, this is just such a good buff to be had, especially using a powerful ultimate like this. So I 100%, I think I would prioritize this one because of that offense up and speed, giving her a chance to obviously get a little bit more turn advantage, a little bit extra uptick in damage. And then as well, don't forget, you can time this ultimate ability to be used just right, so that way she does grant 3 special ability for herself, so that way she can rinse and repeat her abilities. Definitely powerful there. And then last but not least, guys, the Teen Wolf passive ability. So when an enemy does gain stealth, she's going to be applying speed up to herself and new mutant allies. In Cosmic Crucible, if this character does have 3 or more new mutants, when an enemy does gain bleed, she's also gaining speed bars. So she's really going to thrive off of any teams that use bleed because of that mechanic there, especially since she's going to be gaining additional speed bar. Crucible, enemies cannot gain assists, so that's going to prevent them from getting those assist attacks. So by that logic there, she's going to have a lot of value just preventing those teams with those assisted attack mechanics built into their synergies there. Also on top of that, level 3 here, speed bar cannot be filled or reduced by any enemy for themselves, allies, or enemies, which is always nice to have, especially given the speed kind of meta that we have in Marvel Strike Force. This character and all new mutant allies gain 100% crit chance against enemies with blind or silence. So obviously having the blind or silence mechanic on the respective enemies, she's gonna be really thriving off of that. And then finally with the passive T4 here, on self for new mutant ally crit, she's gonna be applying +1 bleed to all enemies with bleed up to a maximum of 10 times. So you can see, my goodness, she's gonna be thriving off of critical hit chance, critical hit damage, as well as applying and strickening enemies with bleed across the board. So without question, I definitely think her ultimate and her passive would be the 2 abilities that I would personally upgrade first, just to ensure that she's as effective as possible. Your title T4 materials, then you might want to hold back on the special and the basic, but the special is still really good because, again, the fact that it reduces all the positive effects, including Safeguard, which is pretty massive, guys. So special, ultimate, passive, but I would do the ultimate and passive first before that. And then finally, if you do have a little bit of extra to be had here, you can always add that to the cherry on top of the basic ability. So honestly speaking, it's pretty obvious to me what the ISO-8 for her is, because she has piercing damage across the board, and because you want to stack as much damage as possible. I definitely see her being a very best case of ISO-8 Raider. That way she can demonstrate more damage across the board, especially given you want to be timing your ultimate just right, so that way there's a right amount of burst with that bonus attack, getting the kill, also providing that additional ability energy for herself to rinse and repeat her special here, and then also inflicting damage across the board, especially with the bonus attacks, targeting specific weaker enemies or support enemies like the special here, guys. So that's personally what I'm going to be going with if I build up this team. But to be honest, this is a Cosmic Crucible team, guys, and similar to Cursed, I didn't build that team up either, so I'm going to have to wait and see if there's more value for the new mutants in the meantime. We know that there's some big events coming up, especially if you guys haven't checked my video from yesterday. We do have a gold spending event starting shortly here as well, so you might want to be watchful of that. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to hoard my cores, and when these characters come into play here where we can farm with the sigil store, that's my game plan for sure. So I'm not going to be using any cores for WOLFSBANE personally. I'll be waiting and seeing, but also assessing and making sure I have good resources along the way, especially given some of the leaderboard events that we know are coming around the corner. Do let me know down in the comments below. Are you guys planning to buy or spend or use power cores to unlock her in the meantime? Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.